Yes. Yes, 2 times. I know the vibes though. She like, ooh la la, we. She go, ooh la la, we. We like, ooh la la, we. We go, ooh la la, we. Okay, ooh la la, we. She like, ooh la la, we. They go, ooh la la, we. Like, ooh la la. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop out of the bed like, where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. POPAVIST. POPAVIST TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, then the question is, where you been? Over here, we deal with sports, hip-hop, entertainment, Popavisms 101, and motivation. If that sound like something you can rock with, then before you exit to the left and diddy your ass to the left, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, smash the notification bell, so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. You get alerted when I upload the videos, and if it's not your first time, and you've been rocking with the channel, good looking. But you know how I do. You know how I start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. And we is in the end game, people. We in the end game because I got to check this audio and make sure my audio is good looking right now. You know what I mean? Just make sure this audio is good one time. Been having some problems on YouTube lately with the audio. I'm not sure why. But I need to make sure if I do a whole goddamn show and people I can't hear you. Been having that problem lately for whatever reason. 1 2 1 2, mic check. 1 2 1 2. All right, we Gucci. Sound Gucci. Sorry I got to do that from time to time, but audio don't be right. But anyways, we in the end game because you see the thumbnail, you see the title, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to DJ KaY, SlaY, a.k.a. the Drama King. You know what I mean? News came out yesterday, I believe, that he lost his battle with COVID. You know what I mean? As after a 4-month period, pretty much. I think he went in the hospital in like late January. It wasn't early February. I know it was trending at the time. A lot of people was like, "Yo, get well, KaY, SlaY, woo, and you know, some weeks later, some months later, it's been reported that you know, he passed yesterday. So condolences to his family. You know what I mean? May he rest in peace. May Allah have mercy. You know what I mean? It is the month of Ramadan. Shout outs to everybody that's fasting during the month of Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak to everybody that's in the struggle of the month of the fast. So, you know, as these stories break for us, the hip hop community, the entertainment world, you know what I mean, people that's you know, famous and they have notoriety, etc., like him. And his legacy is cemented and certified and solidified, you know, if you ask me, as a hip hop head for what he did for the culture and, you know, the risks and things that he took. You know what I mean? And I met KaY SlaY a few times. You know what I mean? I think last year was the last time I seen him. He had a function in Harlem on 125th under the Metro North. He was like doing like a concert, give back, had Vado there, had a couple of people came through, you know what I mean? And you know, obviously I support but you're black. You know, I copped this, I didn't even wear the sweater yet, you know what I mean? Protect the kings, you know what I mean? I copped this fly joint from him, got to chop it up with him for a little bit, you know what I mean? You know, they had a lot of merchandise out there, justice for, you know, for black men and the kings. And when I was chopping it up with him, the little snippet that I did get with him, you know what I mean, for POPAVIST TV, hit the subscribe button, the like button, you know what I mean? he was saying the name wrong, and I was playing with y'all like he was saying Papa. He couldn't pronounce the name right, and I was like POPAVIST, and he was like Greg Popovich, and I was like, yeah, like that. You know what I mean? So I met him at that time in Harlem, got to chop it up with him a little bit, and actually some years ago, I'm gonna say, say maybe like 2010, maybe 11, also in Harlem. I mean, shout outs to Harlem Black HB, man. He rest in peace. It was HB Day. Shout outs to Big Time, everybody that came through. So it was like that, and then they was having a little function. A couple of artists came through and performed this shit, and got to chop it up with him. But KaY is a pioneer, not only for being on the radio and playing the real, having a drama hour, and obviously thus the Drama King, smack your favorite DJ. You know, a lot of the street dudes in the, you know, I was gonna say the lesser, but I'll just say more like the underground rock with him, because even though he was on, you know, the radio at a certain hour, 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, you know what I mean, the nighttime shift, and you know, not really the popular shift, but inside on Rikers, definitely up top. If you was in Sing Sing, or if you was in Green Haven, which I was in both, or Green Haven only over the weekend, a little transfer. I definitely was in Sing Sing, and if you was in Sing Sing and you got Hot 97, then you know the drama hour, and just to hear some regular, you know, to hear some music that wasn't the norm on a, you know, the clips that they spin all the time, or the records that they play all the time. You get to hear some stuff you never heard before, and then obviously with the drama hour, you get to hear like who beefing with who gonna drop a diss track. Speaking of diss tracks, I didn't listen to it yet, but people been hitting me. You heard Benzino diss track, and I'm like, nah, I ain't hear it yet. You know what I mean? Heard he got a diss track out, dissing 50 Cent. Just did a video on Benzino. You know what I mean? His whole debacle with the, you know, trends and all that. But you know, you can listen to KaY and you know, hear the new songs, the drama, the lyrical, you know what I mean, the underground, so to speak. And he gave people a platform, and he ushered in that. And even though, like I said, he was on the radio with the other DJs, the Funk Flexes, the DJ Clues, you know, and all of the other DJs, he always tend to, you know, that was the lane that he carved out. And although I met him those 2 times, and I got the little snippet of him giving me the drop, POPAVIST TV, and he was telling me what he was doing out there last year. I think it was in like June, I mean, and 125th and shit, about the community, etc., and where he was at in his, you know, career at this time. He opened up the doors with, you know, obviously with the Straight Stunting magazine, and giving, you know, you could pretty much give an argument that he ushered in what's going on now. Like gave ladies, you know, a lane to parlay, you know, their properties and get paid off their likeness, and you know, have people jumping in the DMs and fly them out, and you know, because you in the magazine, a lot of eyes is on you. And you know, out here, I'm sure it was popular, but it definitely was, you know, super lit for upstate. And you know, you see a lot of people get into bullshit over the magazines, or you rip the page out, or you fuck the page up. You know what I mean? People are renting their books out, etc. Absolutely. You renting your book out, you get it back, a page is missing. And that's how we learned about a lot of these Instagram, you know, models at that time. You know, I say Instagram, you know, just was what, fresh in 2012 or 13, somewhere around there. So he been gave them a lane, like, yo, instead of doing this, come rock with me. And you had the parties, and you know, and the boat rides, and obviously I told y'all in the other video, you know, Lee stayed in the strip club, like, you know what I mean? In Beans, in Stretch, keep it going to the Beans. I stayed in the joint, and that's how I met a lot of these joints. You know what I mean? You would see him like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Woo woo, and he gave them a platform. So not only did he cater to, you know, the hardcore hip-hop fans or rappers that's unknown, obviously he gave us Pap, and you know, he brought a lot of people from the South up here. He did a lot, you know what I mean? He wasn't biased when it was the Hov and Jay-Z battle, and you know, I was in for that, you know what I mean? So when the takeover and all that was going on, I was in. But you know, you still get to hear it, because if you got access to the radio, then you get to hear Nas. But he, you know, when they was saying like who won, and there was a whole debate or whatever, a lot of people were saying Hov, you know what I mean? And you know, rightfully so, the takeover was fire. Then Ether came in my opinion, Ether was better, even though the takeover only had one verse on Nas. Obviously talked about Prodigy, Mobb Deep, and you know, all other rappers, like, you know what I mean? He didn't back down. He was like, nah, Nas won that. And, you know, he had his little spats with her for whatever reason. Obviously, I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm not going to say I was in the know because I wasn't. You know what I mean? But he stayed his ground. And besides being a DJ and ushering, you know, ladies that have a platform, you know, to do what they do. You know what I mean? Fans only now. Like I said, you know, you in the magazine, but now you parlaying that to something else. You know, the Skittles of the world, the Destiny Moores, the Jasmines, and, you know, even Nia Lee at one of his parties when he was hosting, you know, met her, and a slew of other, you know, straight stunting joints. And when I came on, was taking pictures, and this era, a lot of the people that was up north, like, yo, send me the picture you met such and such, and it was a big deal because they was presented in the magazine, so he gave them a lane, and a lot of them took it and ran with it. So, you know, he did a lot for the culture in that regard, but then also, you know, just besides being on the radio, DJing with the Drama Hour, you know what I mean, paying way for the models, giving underground artists a platform. He also was on some fashion shit, and also was, you know, in the movie, and, you know, he did a lot for the culture. He stayed true to who he was and never really got Hollywood. And I think that's why, you know, although he's trending, but he's not really trending. And obviously when, you know, Jadis, you know, when he said, you know, dead rappers get better promotion while we don't laugh at death and cry at birth. It's not really like popping like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of other shit going on, but when you see the X's and, you know, you see a lot of other people pass, you see that they get a lot more spins. And I know it's happened yesterday, but I only seen a few channels. And y'all know I be running through these YouTube streets, running through these YouTube alleyways, and they should have never. I only really seen like 4 channels really talk about, you know, the Drama King, you know what I mean, which is Dodie Diamonds, a channel I fuck with on YouTube, Hip Hop News, obviously, and the Star Report. Really only 3 channels, you know what I mean? And, you know, whatever reason that is, I think people think he was standoffish. Some people was like, you know, he was up here, and then you even hear a lot of people say like, you know, he didn't really fuck with a lot of niggas, and maybe he didn't, or for whatever reason he felt like a lot of people wasn't keeping it a buck, you know what I mean? And he kind of had that demeanor when you see him out and about in person. Like I said, even though I met him twice and chopped it up, I've been in the same area and arena with him a few times because I was in the strip clubs that he was, you know, promoting that, and woo, we got section over here, but I never really chopped it up with him. But you get to see, like, you know, the face and the stern, and I leave Harlem stand up, double up. So, you know, just to hear him pass, and, you know, obviously at a super young age, like he only got, you know what I mean, like super young, 55. And then obviously from what is, you know, what they saying it is. And you got to be delicate, and I talk about that a lot, obviously, when the dead is gone. You know, you want to be careful how you word your words because people is grieving and stuff like that, especially with the conspiracy theories. But I'm entertaining it in a little bit in this sense because, you know, when was that? Since September, I told her I was going to put it back up if she didn't. Fred the Godson, rest in peace to him. BX, stand up. I interviewed his wife, you know what I mean? His kid's mother. And, you know, when I interviewed her, this was last year as well. For those that rock with the channel and been rocking with the channel, you don't see the interview because I put it on private out of respect for her. After I put it up, she was like, nah, take it down because I'm doing something on the HBO network, Spike Lee, and And I don't know her like that. I met her through my man Mac. Shout outs to my man Mac Man, who I just was talking about yesterday in the Mano video. So through him, I met her as well. So shout out to my nigga Mac. But after he was shooting his video or whatever, you know, she was there. He got a song with Fred the Godson. And, you know, I interviewed him. And I was talking about Fred the Godson because we know that, you know, during the pandemic, etc., he passed from COVID as well, right? She wasn't saying that, you know what I mean? And I thought maybe that's why she wanted me to take the interview down, because maybe allegedly kind of sort of, and I'm going to word it like that, even though I do that a lot on the show, because she was saying, nah, he didn't die from COVID. You know what I mean? She kind of pretty much was insinuating that they knocked him off, keep it a buck. So, you know, even when I was interviewed, you could hear me saying a word and like, well, what make you, you know, say that? You know what I mean? And she was giving me her reasons, like, you know, he was fine and on FaceTime, and it just was a little shaky, a little nervous with the side eye. She just was saying there was a lot of little, you know, quirky, suspect shit going on. And then obviously when she got his belongings, etc., you see, they still had the food there that she took him. It just was a lot of inconsistencies with what they was telling her and what she thought to be true. So then now you say, damn, KaY, SlaY, you know what I mean? And a lot of people have passed from, you know, the virus, you know, C-19, you know, shit like that. You got to be careful how you word, even though my page not monetized, so I could really pretty much say what the fuck I want. You know what I mean? I'm not really worrying about not getting no bread of it. When you see that he went in January or at the end of January, and I probably should have looked just to be more accurate, but he's been in there for a few months now. A few is 2 to 3 months, going on 4 months. When they first was saying it, like I said, and it was trending more then because it was more like, get healthy, get out quick, we rooting for you, we praying for you, and rightfully so. Obviously, a lot of people know, you know, KaY, SlaY, the drama king, so he was getting a lot of good, positive energy, etc. When you say, damn, 4 months later, now you passing? Does his health get worse? Did it get better? Did he have any underlying, you know, illnesses? When I seen him, he looked fine. You know what I mean? It looked like how he always looked. And obviously, from looking at the physical appearance, you can't see if, you know, somebody is sick or they have underlying issues. You just see what you see in the physical appearance. That's why you can't judge a book by a cover when you trying to get buns or you're doing certain things and you putting your health on the line. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? I don't know. But to my, you know, but to the glance and the naked eye, look fine. When you get in there, was you on the ventilator for that long? Like, what does that do to the lungs? What does that do to your body? How does that impact it? You know what I mean? And when this stuff was spinning and they were saying like, yo, you know, if you get on one of these ventilators, this is going to be real tough to get off. So that's why when you see that people was getting on, it was like, yeah, it's kind of foreshadowing, maybe kind of, that they may not get off. But then obviously you have people that got on and got off. So we've seen stories like that as well. I'm just saying, damn, like 55, whatever underlying issues could have possibly, because like, I'll give it for, you know, for instances, or just to paint a picture for HIV, right? And I was a peer educator. If you rock with the channel, then you know that. And I mean, up top, I used to teach classes, you know, on HIV prevention, etc. You know, how you catch it and all that. A lot of times when people, you know, pass from HIV, especially in the earlier days of it, you didn't die from that. You know what I mean? You died because your immune system was compromised, and thus for you don't have the proper defenses to, you know, ward off any, you know, foreign, you know, stuff coming in your body and harming you. And then so you would die of pneumonia, you die of, you know, other sicknesses, and that's why you end up passing. So, you know, is the ventilator did that, or, you know, I mean, we never really know. Obviously, the family has come out, they made a statement saying, you know, they want people to respect their privacy, obviously, and, you know, and respect the fact that they grieving now, because some people, like I said, you know, you can get a little zealous and you can say things that may be distasteful or even flat out be disrespectful. A lot of trolls, you know what I mean? Even in some of the comments when I was catching you know, Doggy Diamond's you know, live. So it was just like it's real unfortunate, it's real sad. Again, first thing I heard last night, and obviously, you know, you like the ventilator and you COVID, I went to the Frederick Austin, and I mean, I said, damn, how many other people, you know, and then you see comments like, is this just better to just stay home when you get sick and you have it? Because going to the hospital seems like it could get a little cringy, you know what I mean? And you might not come out, and you say, damn. Also, during the pandemic, but not at the height of it, like going towards the end. I had a family member get injured, took him to went, you know, to the hospital to see. They wasn't letting you in, just not even for COVID, but just, you know, regular other issues. You cut your finger off or you get stabbed. They wasn't letting the family in. So once you go in, you really don't know what's going on. You have to stand outside. You have to wait outside. You couldn't even wait in the waiting area. So it was just like, all right, you just really have their word to go off. So that could be a little like unnerving, like, damn, are they keeping it a buck with me? Do they have us in the best interest? And again, no real conspiracy theories. And obviously, again, when the pandemic was popping off and, you know, 2020, 2021, you know, I lost people close and have friends and, you know, other people of sort that lost loved ones that's, you know, was dead to them. So it was just a sad thing, you know what I mean? And nobody seemed like they was exempt. So, you know, when any death comes, whether it's, at least with me, whether they famous or it's publicized or it's in your own personal life and nobody knows because you're not known, it always makes you think about your own self and, you know, and how you're going to be remembered, how you're going to go, and when your number going to be called. And I always plainly say on the show, like, do you ever think about when you out of here? Your record deal, video out of here, Mercedes-Benz and Range Rover out of here, and we all gonna go. I mean, we born to die. So it's, you know, how will you be remembered? How are you living while you're here? And what's the legacy that you living? I mean, are you living right? And then also, what should have taught us? And again, I don't know his underlying health. Was it good, top shape, or was it bad? I don't know. I definitely think people should have came out. You know, if you didn't come out with nothing else, nothing is guaranteed, which we already knew. But your job and your security, shit like that. A lot of people did jump on the entrepreneurial bandwagon, started doing stuff for themselves and seeing things in a different light. But also, what should have came out is how you was treating your body, how you was living prior. You know what I mean? Like, we in the month of Ramadan, so again, shout outs to everybody that's fasting. And, you know, and it's a lot of people fasting that's not of the Islamic faith. They just doing it because a lot of people are doing it now. It's trendy, and it's also have benefits. So are you treating your body better 2 years, ago than that? Are you doing more for your body now than what you was doing from before? You know what I mean? Because, all the drinking and the smoking and the hookah and the Hennessy and not living right, not sleeping well, and, just running the streets and hitting the pavement hard. And I know what it's like, too, to go hard in the paint. You know what I mean? Weekend warrior, you know what I mean? I know what it's like. But I also know what it's like to ease back. Try to have some balance. Try to have some checkpoints and, level things out. Because, with a lot of things, when you do too much of it, it could be detrimental. So I think that needs to stay in the forefront. You know what I mean? Like, are you working out more? Are you drinking more water? Are you meditating? Are you taking certain supplements? Or are you still on the McDonald's regimen, the Popeyes regimen? You know what I mean? The Wendy's and all this fast food and all this, meats and all that, and soda and shit like that. Are you one of those? Because if you are one of those, the older you get, your machine, which is your vehicle and your body, you're not taking care of it. And just like any car, any bike or whatever, any machinery, you got to maintain it. And the more you wear and tear, the weaker it becomes, and obviously the value decreases, it depreciates. And the only way to stop that is obviously you see the vegan trends and people more plant-based and things like that. So I definitely thinking, but you're black, and I get the other, but I'm not going to really be worrying too much about them because I live where I'm at. We need to be more mindful of that, you know what I mean? And eat to live. And, the Farrakhan's, talked about it. So, as we remember KaY and we celebrate, what he brought to the culture and what he left, you know what I mean? Like with all deaths, it's like, we all gonna go, you know what I mean? And you need to prepare, you know what I mean? Not only, for the next world, if that's what you believe, but also in this world. Who's going to take care of your shit after you go? Do you got life insurance? Is your debts paid up? Is things in order? Mr. Adult, Mrs. Adult, these are the things that we're supposed to be doing. And if you're not, then you're leaving them for somebody else to handle, like, your sister, your cousin, your kids, you know what I mean? And that happens too often, too much. And then because you don't know when you're going to go, it's essential to have that will, to have that stuff in order so that people don't got to scrape up money for you. Like, I done had to be a part of this. This has been an experience of mine where family got to, how many, you got 5, you got 2, what you got, let's try to put up. Because the person that's, that's gone, they didn't have no life. They didn't have nothing to, take care of their final destination arrangements. So therefore, not only is the family grieving, but now they have to, worry about that part. So kudos to anybody that has their shit in order, that don't, but now because you're hearing my words, you know what I mean, and you're like, oh, let me do it. You know what I mean? And by the way, it's Monday motivation, motivational Monday. I am your motivational speaker, like it or not. And those were some motivational words. So as we, say rest in peace to the drama king and, may the Most High have mercy, we also pop off into these other stories that's coming out, you know what I mean? Because over the weekend, it's just been a lot of crazy shit. In fact, yesterday, or was it Saturday night, crazy, event took place in Pittsburgh, and the gun violence is out of control. Like, I mean, it was a lot of clips spending out of Pittsburgh where it was a house party at an Airbnb, and 2 teenagers was killed, 17. I think they said both of them were 17, and 8 other people injured, jumping out the window, getting trampled, falling down the stairs to try to get away. And you hear them shots going off, pop, 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 pop. You know what I mean? Like, and you say, damn, like, you know what I mean? Underage party, no adults, no supervision. And anytime I think of when it's like kids involved with shootings, you know what I mean? I think of what are the parents doing? What is the, what's the family background? Like what's going on in your house? Like who's in control, who's leading from the front, who's, directing towards the right and saying what we're gonna accept in this house and what we're not gonna accept. Again, once you open up your doors, parents now, you're talking to the parents now. Once you open your doors and your kids go free, even though you gave them the best instructions and you schooled them to the T. Once you go outside, it's fair game. Like anything can happen. They could be a good kid, still end up in a bad situation. But they said it was no adult supervision. I guess whoever if you ever rented Airbnb, it's I don't say vigorous process, but it is a vetting process. They see like who's the credit card, the adult, how long you got to pay up front, and it's a lot of stuff that before you just walk and get the keys and get to the crib. You know what I mean? But 200 people, no adults, 17, 18, 19. Obviously, there's no checkpoints when you went to Airbnb. There's no metal detectors. There's none of that. So I know, like when I have small boys or nieces and nephews going out or whatever, it's always the who, the where, and the how. Like how you getting there, how you getting back, who gonna be there, who you going with, do I know them, did I meet their parents, how long is it for? Do you have money for a lift? Like these are is your phone charged? Do you got your charger? Like, these are the things that, especially if you have, these is teenagers, so 16, 17, they probably interested in sex, they probably doing stuff, they probably listening to the baby he just popped off at his house. A lot of people were saying he trigger happy, but yeah, just like those white folks and you cross the gun line, it don't matter. If you crossing onto my property, then yeah, I have the right to defend my property and defend myself and my family. But that's, that. I'll talk about the baby another time. But I don't think he's just trigger happy. I just think he do keep getting a little lucky when in situations where he's getting off. Normally you pop off some shots, you kill or a murder is allegedly taking place, you're probably going to go to jail. Especially if, but you're black. But these are the questions that, these adults should be having with their teenage kids. Girls, or, you got your period and you can get pregnant. You won't want no unwanted babies. Son, you don't want no one baby. She gets you one of your kids, got you for 18 years. Is it going to be gang niggas there? Is your sons and your daughters cool with these type of individuals? These are the questions that we should be having, because it's like if you are, then I think we can alleviate some of the stuff that goes. You're not going to alleviate everything by talking, but speaking of talking, there's some ads running in New York. I don't know if they running nowhere else, in the country. And every place is different when they spinning the ads and they trying to market to certain, demographics and shit, areas, locations. But it's a commercial where we hear you, and it's different scenarios where the father's at the table talking to his daughter, the army mother is in the car talking to her son. And, like I said, it's like a few different commercials, but the gist of the commercial is when you think they're not listening, just they trying to get the message to the parents to just talk. Because even when you think they not listening, they're listening. And that's what the kids say, like, yeah, no drinks. Like you see the girl like, nah, because her father was like, nah, don't be drinking. This is stuff that we got to talk to about, especially the gang culture. Like, you got friends that carry guns, you got kids that smoke weed, do you got kids that drink? Are you drinking? Have you sneak a little shot? And the reason why you have to do this if you of a certain age as a parent, because one, we've been through the storm. You've been a teenager before. You know some of the pitfalls, especially if you was a knucklehead parent or out there for the streets and now you're refined. You know what the chicks is doing at certain ages, at what age you was doing it. So therefore, you can help them off the rip by just telling them what it is. Again, that don't mean they're going to listen. But if they got some respect for, the example that you putting forth, if you're not just saying one thing but doing the total opposite, like you sitting there rolling up some bud with what the fuck everybody be smoking it now? The shit that I don't understand, especially adults, the little the shit they be putting in the weed that's not weed to make it burn better or whatever it is to make it last longer. What the hell they call the stuff? I can't get it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You sitting there rolling up your little rolling paper, but you're telling your 16-year-old or your 17-year-old, yeah, when you go out, don't be smoking with Tommy and them. Man, that may not fly. And then I gave the example in the video, the other day, and some parents like, they're going to do it anyway, so I'm going to smoke with them. Come on in the house. I know you boning anyway, so you're going to bone in the house. Like, And these things is not acceptable. And this is what causes people to come to the house party. Then as they was spinning the clip, and this shit is trending, so it was a lot of different angles of the video, but you definitely hear pop, 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 like 10 shots ring off. Think about when I was going to the house parties, you know what I mean? And you listening to Ice Cube, and you know what I mean? You in there, it's dark, you really going to get your feel on and your little, humping on, try to bag something, the girl you like in school, it's dark, it's, you know what I mean? It used to be the tough guys, you know what I mean? Before I was a tough guy, or, stop being scared. Like, this is what it is. This is life. You're going to get hit, so you got to hit back. You know what I mean? You can't be scared to go out. But yeah, you be one set of people, then the other set of boys come, you're like, oh, it's time to get out, or they're going to start trouble, or, one of them got a knife. This is just stuff that we need to be talking to the kids about, so that it could be less kids on kid. Now, when it's adults doing dumb shit, shooting across the bridge because they scared to death, kill somebody innocent, but when it's 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, like, yeah, if your son is involved. If your daughter is fucking, you do. And if you don't, you should. Don't you think you should know? Passwords on your phone. Let me see. You got social media? Let me see your TikTok. What you doing? Like the other, even though the lady was embarrassing her daughter, I guess she called her daughter, sending some box shots to somebody, and she embarrassed the shit out of them, put it on live. Like, even though that was inappropriate to me, like, yeah, you sending, whoever you sending your fast ass and woo, 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 and, obviously you embarrass her, and you can't never get that back. And it's going to probably take her a minute to get over that, because the world, I seen it, you know what I mean? You still should, you want to give some privacy, but you don't get that much privacy. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. You ain't paying no bills, you're not working, like, you don't get that much privacy under my roof. And that's how I was giving it up for kids that's not mine. Like, I don't have no kids of my own, but for the kids that I helped raise, again, for the people in the back that are the biological parent, you're just not going to do certain things, because I know what it is. And so because I don't want you to fall victim, I have to step up and say, nah, I don't know what your pop's telling you, I don't know what your mother's telling you, but that's not acceptable. What your phone? Who you following? What's going on? What you posting up? Like, you know what I mean? And I think more conversations like that need to happen. Now, again, that may not stop the other parents, the other kids who parents is not doing that. So even if your kid is a good kid, unfortunately, and they just going there to have fun with their good friends, and some fucking Ray or some dumbass kid come in there, and shoot the place up, Like, and then 2 people is dead, 8 people is injured, and the police, like, it was a crazy scene, because some of the injuries is broken bones, because people was jumping out the window, like, Like, Geronimo was the, what he clip said? Such a sight to see his soul yell Geronimo, like, Like, you jumping out the window like Geronimo, and it's crazy. Just like this other story, Patrick Loyola out of Michigan. This is another crazy story. Unfortunately. And that's the good coffee right now. Get my little bit of coffee in before the morning, and I got my water over there. So I seen the clip, spent the clip, I watched it. I was triggered, as a person that's not an angel, been, on the other side. So I always look at law enforcement with the side eye. I'm sorry, law enforcement people. I know some of y'all are good, and we need y'all. And I'm not against defunding the police. We need, law and order. Otherwise, it'll be chaos and mass confusion. So I get that. However, when you see these clips, and you can't really say like, well, they shouldn't have ran and stuff like that, or you should have just complied, because we've seen instances where, the suspect or the person in question did everything right, still get popped. And then we've seen where they try to get away or do something they probably had no business doing and get killed or get injured, get disabled. You're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. So this new story came out, I think, or this incident happened, new story came out April 15th, April 14th, something like that. And so, real quick, if you're not familiar, obviously it was a traffic stop. Officer been on the job. They ain't released his name yet. They never do. They try to always protect to the bitter end, So they have to give it up. And people are marching and stuff right now out there in Michigan. They mad, and I think they got a right to be mad. Although I think he should have just complied. Still don't think he should have got killed, shot in the back of the head the way that he did. But anyway, it was a traffic stop. Officer stopped the car. They can tell when your plates is not the right plates. All this computer and technology, like a circle. We was just talking about one plaza. All this shit is one big Jarvis, you know what I mean? Tony, there was no other way. One big computer network that has access to all this shit. And that's what Mayor Adams was talking about. That's why he went to Chicago. That's why he went to New Orleans. And where else did he go? He went somewhere else, but pretty much he was on a world tour with Muhammad, my man, going east to every state with the mic in my hand. London, Houston, you know what I mean? VA, right? And I'm being funny, but I'm not. He want all of the forces to join, like Voltron. Like he want one database, FTF, and that's what he want. That's why I think his admirations is the run for the president. I really think that's his end game for him. This is just a pit stop as the mayor of New York City. But anyway, you know, they can tell. Like you got the wrong plates on there. And whether they racial profile or not. Anyway, they pulls Mr. Patrick over. He gets out the car, which you're not supposed to get out the car. Officer like, yo, get back in the car. You know what I mean? And he didn't. At first he was acting like he ain't speaking English. And you know, you could tell he's playing the fool pretty much. And so some of the comments is like, yeah, you play stupid games, you get what? You get stupid prizes and you die. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. And so rest in peace to him and condolences to his family because they devastated. So anyway, the officer like, yeah, you know, I'm stopping. He like, why are you stopping me? Just, you know, you can see just playing. Because at first I thought he ain't speak English. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, all right, maybe he's Spanish or he's Nigerian or he African and he don't speak English. But then he like, nah, you could. Then he starts saying, you know, he's speaking. So he like, yo, the plates is not for this car. You know what I mean? Why you get out the car? You got license registration? And he like, yeah, in the car. You know what I mean? He didn't get it. I thought he was going to reach in the car. Officer was going to shoot him then. Because you know, anytime you reach and all, you got to be like, I am reaching for my wallet slowly. I'm keeping my hand on the steering wheel. You know, we see a lot of these clips spin. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. And every day it seems like it's something. You know what I mean? Something to rile us up. Bill O'Reilly, you only riling me up. So anyway, after he takes off, you know what I mean? He takes off, try to run, look like with slippers on. I don't know why these grown men be walking, even though he didn't have his pants down. But this just make you think when you see New York kids and grown men still walking with their pants damn near to your ankles. Like, bro, you ain't ready for what you think you walking with the tough mug face. You're going to get washed quickly, you know what I mean? Especially as somebody, you know what I mean, that's ready and don't got to get ready. So you got the slippers on, you run, you know what I mean, and you get caught right away. You know what I mean? They tussle, officer pull out the taser first, discharge it twice, they're saying, like I said, it's like 9 different videos. And neither one of them hit. Like he didn't hit him at all, you know what I mean? He didn't hit him at all. So he gets control of it. Finally, he get him down on the ground. And to me, again, I'm ex-convict. So I look with the side eye, and I'm biased. I'm keeping it a buck. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I am full transparency, and I'm authentic. At least I could just say that. It's not like you log on and you see, and then you see something else. No, this is me every day, all day, like Hov. Like I never change, and I'm being funny when I say that. But I am biased. Especially if it don't look right, I feel like something else could have been done. Because to me, although, you know, they want to go home to their families. You know what I mean? I get that. This is a tough job. If you could preserve life, then I think you should do it. You know what I mean? As a person that's been shot at and shot, you know what I mean? At people. Before. You want to preserve life. At least that's where I'm at with it now. I don't want to just get killed random for some bullshit. And you hate to see people lose their lives over some dumb shit. So anyway, to me, when he got him on the ground, he like, yo, let go of the taser, let go. It don't look like he had the taser in his hand. It honestly really looked like his hands was down, even though he was trying to get up. But you on top with both of your hands. Then you able to, he wasn't that strong because you still held with one hand, reach for your gun, and then you just popped him in the head. Like no, in the shoulder, you know what I mean? No, hit him in the head hard, knock him out like the movies. Or something to that effect. It's just one shot to the back of the head. And then, you know, the obviously, because it's like 9 different videos, but the one I seen is the one, you know, where they showed the shot on YouTube. It's a 53-second video. They actually showed the whole, you know, just popped him right in the head, execution style. So again, shouldn't have ran, shouldn't have tried to fight, should have stayed in your car, should have, could have, would have, and you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. But for me, you are trained in hand-to-hand combat. Taser is just a taser. In fact, when you on the force, you got to get tased so you can see how it feels. You know what I mean? And perfect example of that is Hangover. I mean, was it Hangover 3 or 4 or whatever the Hangover movie was? When they got them in the classroom and they didn't let them tase them, you know what I mean? And you have to get tased so you can see how it feels. If you've never been tased before, it could be debilitating. So a lot of people in the comments is like, yeah, well, what if he would have got the taser, he would have tased the cop, then he would have took the gun and then killed the police. Like, all right, that's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of maybe, kind of, sort of, all right, who knows? You know what I mean? And then the thing is, how many deployments of the taser is there? He did it twice, according to the reports and what the chief police and all that is saying. They saying he let off twice and missed. So was it a third time? Don't you got to reload, recharge, or whatever in order to get another shot off? So to me, at this point, the taser is void and can't do nothing with it. Now, if I'm wrong, cool. He could probably shot up. You know what I mean? This dude is on the ground with his hands down, and again, one hand he was trying to come up. So I'm not gonna cap on that. But you are on top, and I watch a lot of UFC. And again, this is not UFC, but the thing is, officers and law enforcement, they are trained in hand-to-hand combat. And who's training them? So you got the upper hand, literally. You know what I mean? You have the upper hand, and you have the stronger weapon. But somebody did say in the comments, you're supposed to use your weapons, and if one of your weapons is taken, you use the stronger weapon against the lesser weapon. So I guess he was saying that to say, yeah, you got the taser, but I got the burner. You know what I mean? If you got a knife, I got a burner. So, you know what I mean? Again, people like could have shot him in the leg, could have shot him in the shoulder, could have let him get up and walk away. He didn't have a gun. There's some people like, how do you know he had a gun? And for those that just joined in, I'm talking about Patrick Loyola, out of Michigan, the video where the cop pretty much killed him execution style, pretty much, you ask me. I don't know about letting him walk away. You know what I mean? Again, when you chasing, they running away. Like when we see videos where suspects is running away, they get shot in the back and cameras off, and he had a gun, and you put the gun there. So we see a lot of this shit from LA. Now with more and more video being available to us, cameras everywhere, we can see the fuckery that has been going on for a long time. And unfortunately, that puts a bad umbrella over the whole force, because again, I don't think every officer is bad. I'm not with defund the police, and all officers ain't racist and join the job just to kill black folks. Oh, but you're black. But my thing is somebody that been with the cuffs on, been beat up, been thrown in the van, been thrown in the paddy wagon, been thrown, like, it is what it is. But that's just me, So that's my life, and I can't change that now. That's the past. So I know what it's like. And yeah, when you don't listen, you might get done dirty. And even if you do listen, you still might get done dirty. In the precinct, cuffs on, ain't do nothing, smacked up, beat up, just because officer having a bad day. These things do happen. For those that don't think they do. The pro officers and not seeing the other side. And I'm in the middle. Like I said, you need them, and if you don't have them, there could be a lot of bullshit going, a lot of chaos, especially in our communities, already shit going on, even with them there. But again, just to shoot them in the back of the head, like, jeez, like, not in the shoulder, not in the back. Like, you could have stood up, point the gun. You move, I'm blowing your fucking head off. Just so many things. I'm taking it. So a lot of people just was like, yeah, it happened so fast, and he had to take. People just keep saying, like, if he had to tase, so if he would have tased the officer, he would have debilitated the officer, which the officer didn't do to him. 7 years in the job, you missed twice, but you hit him with that gun though, right? Hit him with the gun though. Ain't that funny? Like, you missed twice with the taser, but you hit him with the gun. One shot kill. Like, this shit was fucking Call of Duty. Through the scope. Bah! Dead. And then the thing is, too, when the camera comes back on for the other videos that's out there, you see them pumping his chest mad hard. Like, one stop, the other officer get up, then the other one get up, start pressing him. And I had to rewind the video back because I heard something say, "Care something." I'm like, somebody there talking sound like a female, but I guess whatever machine, whatever was going, they tell you like how long to do it, when to keep going, while the ambulance and all that shit coming. But it's like, you shot him in the back of the head. He was dead from the rip. He was dead. Looking at the video, you can see he was dead from the rip. Like a law king, angel of death, come back with me. You pumping on his chest hard, he's dead. Like, And whether that's for, oh shit, we killed him. Like, is he the Wu-Tang? And I'm not being funny because the life is lost. on the fucking Wu-Tang album, 36 Chambers, like, yo, mad fucking shots ran off, left him there leaking like a newborn baby, and then somebody in the back, this is a skit that I'm talking about, they're like, is he dead? And like, fuck you mean, is he dead? Bleeding with all types of blood coming out of his head, and so like, yo, you turn him over, you know what I mean, and pumping his chest, he's dead. Shot him in the back of the fucking head, point blank range. You gonna shoot better than Kobe at that range? Like, come on. You gonna shoot better? Like, I'm not being funny. Could he have done something different? Is it murder? Is he going to jail now like the lady that fake, forget her name, out in, was it Minnesota? Where homie drove off, even though, you know, I mean, he resisted arrest too. He got taser, and then you shoot him with your gun in the side, and then he ended up crashing on the road and killing himself. What you think? Somebody drop a comment. Did you see the video I'm talking about coming out of Michigan where the cop shot him in the back of his head? Again, you know, a lot of people, you could tell on like the channel it was on, it was like a pro-police channel, because a lot of people in the comments was like, you know, he resisted, you don't resist, you just follow the instructions. And yeah, I think so. I mean, if you don't have no weapons on you, you're not doing nothing wrong, obviously you should follow suit. Now, if you're doing something wrong and you going all out, then just go all out. You should go and run for and risk them shooting you in the back, risk a tussle, risk getting killed. You might as well just fucking have caught in the street right there. At least take one down, like, and I'm not, you know what I mean? As opposed to trying to run with slippers on. You running with slippers on, and it was raining. Where you going, bro? You ain't getting away. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but the camera, like the video that I seen, the 53-second clip, that's not the police video. So that's a you know, a civilian. That's somebody that was on the sidelines. You can see, you hear them saying he don't got no taser. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they didn't see that he grabbed it initially. But again, I watched the video maybe like 6 times. It's only 53 minutes. It don't look like he had it in his hand. He might have had it in his hand, because you also can hear him say, all right. I mean, why are you doing this to me? Cool. Still popped him in the head. Like, still popped him one shot to the head. So I think that's very unfortunate. You know what I mean? Talk about this last shit real quick, because I got time today. Tony, there's no other way. 6'9". And this, like I said, this if you rock with the channel, you know this is only the 2 times, only the 2nd time I'm even speaking about him. And I got reasons. I mean, I know the overall consent. Well, actually, it's pretty much split. You got people like, oh, he a rat, he did woo, he should be, you know what I mean, locked up, or, you know, he should be fed to the wolves. And then you got others like, no, he wasn't really about that life. He got kidnapped. They fucked this girl, and allegedly, and, you know, they kidnapped him. They took him for his bread. They did him dirty. You know what I mean? And, all right, cool. No matter what side of the coin you fall on, he's still trending. The video I did was he's supposed to be allegedly broke. So I guess he just got the tattoo, Brooklyn. I mean, a lot of people was commenting on it. You know, he's tatted up. He's one of the tatted. He's a tatted man. But, you know, they just had a little podcast, and I didn't watch the whole. Somebody sent me a small little clip. And, you know, you had the gang there, and you still with the gang shit. And I'm just, for myself, I'm saying, damn, whatever you told for right real, just, you know, we're going to entertain, you know, the telling part. And he really wasn't about the street, so of course he's going to fold. And even some real gangsters and street niggas fold because they don't want to do a lot of time. They don't want to do no time. They like their comfortable bed. They like their women. They like their jewelry and their cars. So they're not going to keep it funky. They're going to flip and they're going to turn. Like, you've been sleeping on Gucci sheets and, you know, bowling all these fan models and all that. You don't want to go to jail, sleep on that hard cot. You only get 1 mattress. You ain't even getting no 100 count sheet. You ain't even getting 50 count sheet. You're going to get some white, dingy, dirty sheets with a thin blanket. That's the reality. That's the real facts. And you're going to be cold. Unless you're sleeping with some clothes on, or your family going to send you a velour blanket. Like a lot of people got them J.L. Marcus blankets. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for people that's in the know. And I'm being funny, but I'm really not. He told, right, he wasn't built. So he told, if that's being accepted, you're going to have him risk telling on you. Like, as the dudes in the interview, like, we about that, he don't go nowhere with security. You know, you can tell them they young niggas. They young, like young niggas. Young nigga, like Nipsey Hussle and P. Diddy, the song, Young Niggas. They young, know what I mean? He young still. But you gonna this is what you following? Like, now I get if you choose to be gang and you involved, this who you, and I get it. See, the views and the money is alluring, and fame is like Hov said, fame is a hell of a drug. Like, now I mean, it's the lights, satisfaction, Hollywood. Like, you got to, you know what I mean? Is it that serious though that you would have known rat problems to chase the bag? You can't get it on your own. You can't figure it out. And then you can see them really like want to protect and maybe even do something to somebody else all for this guy. I think that's dangerous, bro. And it's like, what's in the Malcolm X movie? This man got this stuff. That's too much power for one man to have. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know what I mean? I'm living in the 21st century, doing something mean to it, do it better than anybody you ever. Like, you know what I mean? No one man should have all that power. I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying the influence of the rap world and culture and the hip hop influence. Everybody not gonna be stars. Like, no, I just talked about this yesterday. You get the tattoos all on your face and your neck, and you're not an NBA ball player, and that's only for so long. Especially if you don't invest your money into something else that'll make something else, that'll make something melt, like Jada reference. You fans only, that's all you can do, all the money you make and you buying Birkins and shoes and shit like that. You never invest, you never open up a store, you never do nothing. Then you turn around and one day you 35, you 40. Woo, I mean, niggas ain't throwing them dollars like they used to. They not hitting the bat line like they used to. And then what if you don't make it as a rapper? You did all this tattooing and you can't even go get a regular job now. You gotta think about this. And the thing is, you know, we don't think about it. We don't look long term for the consequences. It's just living in the now, the microwave, spin the clip now, heat it up now. I want to eat now. Like I say I want to eat, my niggas say they want to eat too. You know what I mean? And I just find it funny, like you got a whole new crew now. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Going all out, the masked up and signs and all that. Wasn't you just in the feds like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago? So what's the message that you sending? And, you know, for the young brothers, young niggas, you know what I mean? Like, be mindful who you follow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't follow the knuckleheads and, you know, they think they're going to lead you to the bag. Try to figure it out another way because the same plight that they suffered, you ain't exempt to that. Man. You ain't exempt. You're not special. You're not special at all in that regard. The same thing that happened to those other folks that's on, you know, in the feds right now. And shout out to my nigga Dre. He just hollered at one of my homies. He said the James dude is in there where he at. Told y'all R. Kelly is in there too. And stuff with Casino. All of them is in there. And they ain't, yakisobe is being served up. Chili con corn. That shit is being served up. You know what I mean? What's the other shit? Goulash rouge with the biscuit. It's being served up. And that shit is nasty. Ooh. Think Roman noodles taste like gold? Yeah, Roman noodles do taste like gold. That's why you hear people like, yo, that's the survival kit. Just think about that. Just think about Roman noodles and what level that's on in the food chain of food. So like it's probably at one of the bottom. That's why Master P came out with a more healthier, you know, ramen noodles. And I forget what Master P called it. Shout out to Master P. Just think about that. P&J, which you probably never eating right now. You probably never eating peanut butter and jelly. Not that it's nasty, but that's not to really go to. And I used to eat it, you know, I'm from, you know, that was one of the survival. But since being home, I'm not rushing to make no peanut butters and jelly. Oh, but up north in Rikers or wherever, yeah, that's going to be the go-to dish. That's the pick and roll. That's the barbecue chicken. Like, yeah, you're going to serve it up and you're going to serve it up nice. Because that Moulin Rouge and them yakisobes, that shit is not hitting. And your stomach going to be on your back. That's the terminologies you're going to be getting used to. Yo, my stomach is on the gate right now. You starving and you're starving. Yeah, you starving. I'm being funny, but I'm really not. And that's the plight of a lot of young boys in there. That's why being in prison as an adolescent and, you know, in your early 20s, 21, 20, it's so harsh because you don't know yourself. You made some mistakes. You know, obviously killing somebody ain't no mistake. You know what I mean? When you chose to pull that trigger and that 15, you know, seconds of anger got you the L, you know, got you life with the L, with 25 with the L on the back. Yeah, you start to mature and become to who you are. You may not be who you was in your 20s now that you're 40-something. But it's tough because it's a lot of ignorance. It's a lack of education. It's a lot of testosterone. It's a lot of prove this, prove that. It's a lot of I'm the biggest and the toughest and my clique is the strongest and we gonna roll on you. And it's a lot of bullshit, to be honest. So it's like anybody signing up for that willingly, knowing that you know how the movie ends, still you play the star role and hold Vito's way, it's just the life. You know what I mean? Then you bugged out. And if nobody's telling you that, like he supposed to be telling them like, yo, I'm going to try to help you get the bag and capitalize off my celebrityism and my notoriety while I'm still got a little bit. I'm on with Whack, I'm with Big Act, you know what I mean, Academics and Hassan, and, you know, a whole little clique that they had there. But you got to leave that gang shit alone. We're going to do it a little different this time. But nah, he not. He feeding in the image. King of New York. Put Brooklyn on my forehead. Like, you know what I mean? And, you know, for the parents, you know, and the uncles and the cousins that know what it is, make sure your kids is not following that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Make sure they don't become a victim. Because like Pac said, it's not them that's knocking us off. It's us that's knocking us off. So, you know, that's my take on the 6ix9ine, you know what I mean? Last a little bit of shit. So I'm hearing Kyrie, you know, even though now he's trending Brooklyn, like, is New York in the house, it's Brooklyn in the house, Uptown in the house, Shallon in the house, like, everybody, are you in the house? And Philly want to get in there too. Maxey went off the first game. And this ain't going to be no NBA. I just want to quickly talk about Kyrie real quick. In Boston, I mean, they racist. So people be hearing a lot of shit like that coming out of Boston from the athletes. People be saying shit in the stands. And we know Kyrie was with Boston, and they ain't really go nowhere when they had a young Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But anyway, Brooklyn lost the first game. And if you've seen it, it was spectacular. Like, had the ebbs and flows and this back and forth. And if the series is going to be like this, it's going to be a great series. And I picked Boston in 7. In fact, only joint I'm really looking bad on is the Philly series because I picked Toronto, but it is a long series. We're going to see now that it shifts to Toronto and Thibault won't be playing will things, you know, shape up. But the Suns, Golden State won. They only another one, even though it's still a long series. Memphis lost that first game. Jeez. Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, they came in there with all of the smoke. Like, yeah, Memphis, you talking about you running up the chimney looking for the smoke. They came giving you the smoke. They gave you all the free smoke that you asked for. Free smoke, free smoke. They gave you all the smoke. But Kyrie, you know, he trended because they lost the game, and you know he did this in the back of the head, threw up the, you know what I mean, threw up the bird a couple of times. So people are like, should it be fine? Should that be acceptable? And pretty much he's like, yo, you know what it is. Like, I'm giving them the same energy that they giving me. They saying all type of shits, and this ain't the first time that, you know, I flipped off a fan or I said something. It's only because it's a big game and, you know, it's not that many games being played and it's nationally televised that you catching it. So, you know, I think it is what it is. I say ain't nothing wrong with flipping the bird. I mean, obviously it's TV, so you don't want your kids seeing that. But they know what that sign means, just like they know what that means. You're dead. Like, a nigga mentioned my team, you're dead. Heard what I said? Julius Halls and Sauce, you know what I mean? Shout out to Mook and Rex. But this is what I want to talk about. Forget the game, because somebody was like, he was faster than I see on another channel, because I know I be running through the YouTube street. But he supposed to be Muslim. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, why he never came out or why I was never talked about? But now that it's Ramadan, you know what I mean? It's coming out that he's fasting, and for him to be balling the way that he's balling, especially on the Saturday game, because I think the game was at 3:30 over at 5. So you know, if he's fasting the right way, you ain't drinking no water all the way until about that day, like 7:32. So you got a whole 2 hours to be super thirsty. And oh, by the way, while the game is going on and your teammates is drinking Gatorade, you ain't drinking nothing. The only other player that I know did that was Hakeem the Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon. You know, he was fasting. That's when they beat the Knicks and beat my Knicks in the finals. He was fasting. You know what I mean? So I thought that was interesting. You know what I mean? Kyrie always he always get looked at with the side eye because some of the stuff that he say be a little offbeat with the you know, the earth is flat and, you know, the burning the sage, and then obviously Public Enemy #1 because he didn't vax it up. You know what I mean? And for whatever that's worth, I respect the fact that he just stood his ground, and like a lot of the other players, he didn't cave, but also he is Kyrie. He already got paid, and he's already a champion. Your wrist bling bling, his shit bling blow. So he got paid already. He can take the year off. Like, I'm good. I got my millions, you know what I mean? A couple other players couldn't do that, you know what I mean? And Andrew Wiggins, he's like, nah, I got to vax it up. Thibault, he took the one shot, didn't get the second shot, so that's why he won't be playing tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Brooklyn played Wednesday. But, you know, Philly, he won't be able to play when they go to Toronto because that's their rules and regulations over there in their country. But that was just my thoughts, and I thought it was interesting. I'm still Google because somebody said that he was. Maybe he just fasting. If he is Muslim, then it's all praise. I just didn't know that. I mean, a lot of some of our prominent, you know, athletes, you know, was of the Islamic faith. Muhammad Ali being one of them. But you know what it is. Leave your comment, leave your concern. If you know me in person, you could definitely hit me on the bat line. But you was just tuned in. POPAVIST, that's me. POPAVIST TV, that's my show. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here, one more again. Yeah, kid.